Back in the lovely confines here in Spring Garden, Alabama, in this beautiful weight room, got Coach Ragsdale in. Coach, last week you guys took on a 2A Coach of the Year and a very formidable opponent, Pleasant Valley. I know it didn't go the way you guys wanted to, but sometimes some of the best teaching moments get to come through games like that. Just take us back to last week and how it all transpired.
Yeah, Pleasant Valley's got a really good football team, and got a lot of older kids. A lot of those kids that's been playing for them has been starting as 8th and 9th graders. So hats off to them playing a really clean game. You know, they were physical, and they beat us for 4 quarters. And on our side of the ball, I felt like we drove down the first drive of the game, drove 70 yards, get inside the 10, get stopped, and after that we kind of let it snowball on us. And you know, I just wasn't real pleased with our effort for 4 quarters of football. So it's one of those things with a young team. So that's the first time a lot of our kids have been punched in the mouth. And we never did get off our back foot after that. And we just got to, you know, like I said, it's a learning experience for these young kids. Hey, you get punched, you better punch back real quick.
No doubt.
And keep throwing them. But I think we get in here get that part of our game corrected and just keep moving forward.
When you play a team like Pleasant Valley and Braxton Soster, their quarterback, and you know they can challenge you vertically, they can run the ball well, they're coached, they're always in the right positions. It was not a region game for you. So when you get a good look like that, that helps you, in my opinion, helps you moving forward because now you've seen some of the things that you got to work on. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's the first thing I told the guys after the game. You know, I said, look, we don't like to lose, you know, because you're not losers, you're competitors. I said, so it hurts, but you know, I said this was not a region game. We're still 0-0 starting region play this week, and playing teams like Pleasant Valley help you down the road. And then you know, it showed us that hey, we got punched. We got to learn how to punch back and stay toe to toe. And that was the biggest thing from Friday night. Playing, like I said, a junior senior heavy team. They were able to stretch it out, run misdirection, run power football, and they executed well, and we didn't. But we've got to take that, and I think we got a good start yesterday on that. We had a really good practice yesterday. I was really pleased with how the kids handled the film session, and then handled the old school type practice we had yesterday. Kind of reel us back in, and just got to keep that mentality moving forward.
That was my next question. It's kind of not really a shortened week, but it is school-wise because of Labor Day. But then you got a lot of stuff. You know, I'm sure you went back to the basics, and the film session alone, I'm sure was pretty dynamic. You get to go in there and look at that. But how do you get all this packaged up and then get that game behind you and move forward?
Well, as a coach, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, didn't sleep a whole lot because just want to get back and get in touch with kids and see how they were going to respond. I mean, that's my thoughts as a coach after the game. Just, man, I want to see what the kids are going to do Monday because, you leave a bad taste in your mouth after the game Friday night. And so we come in Monday morning and turn the film on, and every kid was sitting in a chair. I walked through the locker room to run them to film. They were already gone. They were sitting in a chair, had the film pulled up.
They was ready.
They were ready, and I said, hey, look, we're about to go through these cut-ups. I said, some of y'all had never sat in a film session where you're the star. I said, you've been sitting in the back. But now, look, I'm about to be pretty honest with you. I'm about to be real honest with you. I said, you can get your feelings hurt and you get mad at me. I said, or you can take it, yes, sir, and let's go out there on the practice field and fix it here in about 45 minutes. And I was really pleased with the way our kids responded to that and the kind of practice we had yesterday.
You said it best when you first sat down. You got some guys, the competitors, winners. They're not used to games like that. The mentality y'all have had over here, usually y'all are the hammer for sure. And when you get to old school practice, like you said Monday, that's the kind of stuff that gets you blood flowing as a coach. Talk about that, how that probably fired you and the staff up to get to go back to that.
Yeah, dadgum though. Yesterday I saw, I'm not 25 anymore. I'm out there trying to jump around and and I went and showed them. I ain't gonna say what I was doing. I was showing them how to tackle a dummy.
Yeah.
Right. And I took off, and I got up. A couple coaches like, "Hey, you look slow doing that." I was like, "Well, hey, I felt like I was 16 again, though, had a little excited. We had exciting practice.
That's
the
what I'm
kids got
saying.
excited about
Yeah.
it. As a coach, you're just ready to get back and get to work and
No doubt.
get that excitement. I felt like that's one thing that we lacked Friday night. We were just dead.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have any excitement, and I'm like, guys, y'all bring that.
Yeah.
I'm like, us as coaches can't bring that, and the
That's
fans
right.
don't bring it. I said, well, I just felt like we were flat, and we come got after each other for a couple hours yesterday.
Yeah.
Had an exciting practice, and still a question mark from Friday. I mean, that question mark is there till this Friday. You know?
What are you learning from yourself coaching a younger team? Because the teams that you've had have had a lot of older guys, most of them.
Yeah.
For the most part, a lot of leadership things like that. Now it's kind of flip flop. Now you got a younger group. You've had to probably mold yourself as a coach. What have you learned from that?
Yeah. I mean, you just go into Friday. I mean, I rode some kids pretty hard and jumped on some kids pretty hard, and I'm going to do that. I'm not going to coach them light. I'm not going to tiptoe around, but after the fact, you start thinking about the game, and it's like, it's a young team. There's a different way that you can go about it while you still be tough and still hold those standards. But yeah, as a coach, you definitely think about how you get from point A to point B with a younger guy versus a veteran.
Right. No doubt. 100% is a totally different mindset and approach to it. Now, this week right here is by far and away the most important game of the season so far. All of them's important or they wouldn't keep score, but this one really is as far as playoff implications or anything like that, a region title. What do you know about Ragland? What have you got to see on them?
I know Coach Tools, he's always got those guys prepared. They do a really good job. You never have to question their preparation. They're going to know what you're going to do. They're going to run their stuff that they're successful at running, do the stuff that they're good at. And hard-nosed football. Ragland has gave us trouble every year. I mean, just it's always a hard-fought game, and so they've got 3 or 4 guys that can run. Probably the fastest running back in the region.
That's saying something.
Aaron Lee, I believe is his name. But I'd say he's probably the fastest running back in the region, no doubt. So we got our hands full coming here Friday, and good thing we get to play at home. But opening region play, see how we answer the bell Friday night.
Talking about that, man, being able to have that region game here at the Garden, how important that is.
Yeah, it's always nice. It's always nice to play at home, and then I think when you got a young team, it's nice to play at home even more so.
That's right.
Just gets to stay a little more in a familiar routine, and of course, we have great fan support. And Friday night we started an athletic foundation here at Spring Garden. We've got an education foundation that helps the school, and they take care of all kind of things educationally. They've been doing that for over 20 years probably. So we started an athletic foundation here, and they had a big kickoff meeting before the game. So there was, they had a good crowd of people that hadn't been back on campus for years.
Yeah.
Came back to get that rolling.
That's awesome.
You had the basketball ring ceremony. You had our Pantherette. So we had a huge crowd Friday night, and so it's just nice to see the kids have the support and our community support, and of course it's always nice to play in front of them.
Hey, let them know if they need anything from us, like getting the word out or anything, or sharing their page. We'll help out any way we can for that, for sure. That'd be huge. Coach, before we shut it down, I always like to kick it back to you. Could talk about anything program related.
Yeah, I think what sums up this group from Friday night, I had a kid respond. One of the coaches shared this with me. Said somebody had made a statement on Facebook or something about the game, how it wasn't going in our favor, and had a kid that just simply put on there, "We'll be back at work on Monday morning."
I love it.
And I said, man, that's what you want to see.
That's the best response.
And they showed up, and they got back to work Monday morning. So people come back and see what kind of work these kids put in.
No doubt. That's the best response you can have in that kind of situation.
Yep.
Ain't no doubt about it. Well, Coach, I appreciate you sitting in with us. That's all we got for this week of keeping up with Spring Garden Athletics. And, Coach, good luck to you guys on Friday night and starting out the region play in a good way.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.